G'day guys, Mike with the Outer Circle. In this episode of Getting Started in the Horus Heresy, we are looking at the Thousand Suns. So, near and dear to my heart would be an understatement. Next year, I'll have been playing Thousand Suns or Tzeentch for 30 years. That is an incredibly long time to be devoted to the one giant bird god of change. So, I know a thing or two about these guys. I've been reading every bit of fluff I could scrounge up for 3 decades nearly. That's possibly too long. I'll let you decide. The box set works really well for the Thousand Suns because infantry are huge among them. They also actually make a lot of use of land raiders in the novels, but anyway. Good little box set. The only miniature that lets it down, of course, is Big Chungus, which is this guy. He does not look like a Thousand Sun. I don't think there's any planet where he looks like a Thousand Sun. So, first suggestion, swap him out for an Infernal Master. It's a way better looking character. They were going at, I think, $24 each at one point online, but they may be a little bit more right now. Obviously, just get rid of the little bit of spooky smoke on the ground with the little screamers on it. Get rid of that. He can keep the little bit of wispy stuff in his hand, that's fine. As he's dabbing, maybe get rid of it. He pretty much works excellently, just straight out of the box as a Thousand Suns character, even in 30k, because things like the horns on his head, that's fine. Magnus had horns all over his armor as well, 2 on the back and 2 on coming out of his chest in heaps of the artwork. So esoteric little bits of horn like that is fine. The smoking braziers and the flame on him, all of that is perfectly fine. The cloak is fine. The Thousand Suns iconography is all there. There's nothing super Tzeentchian about the miniature apart from those little wispy guys at the front. He's pretty much a straight conversion into 30k. Even if you don't like the helmet, you can swap it out for either a bear head or for another helmet, such as the Thousand Suns Mark IV upgrade set, or the Thousand Suns Achaean pattern heads, or my personal selection would be the Kennetai Blade Occult upgrade sets. But we might get back to that one, because I have some interesting thoughts on all of them. Now, the next option to take in the army is Rubric Marines. They're in plastic, they're from Games Workshop. You can take this squad and use them to represent Legion Veteran Tactical Marines or members of the Command Squad. I, of course, would say, swap the helmets out, go to that Achaea pattern helmet. That Achaean pattern helmet looks really nice on the plastic bodies. It makes them feel a little bit more Heresy period, because the headdresses in 40k are super huge and stylized and don't look the greatest in 30k alongside a lot more subtle schemes of the Thousand Suns. I know that sounds crazy calling space Egyptians in bright candy red subtle, but somehow next to these helmets they are. So that's the only thing you really need to swap out. Apart from that, upgrade them with weapons as you see fit. Now, you saw the image a moment ago, the Thousand Suns Legion Praetor. Cataphractii armor, you got Cataphractii in the box, all of a sudden, by this one model, you've got someone who can be an extra HQ for the box and can lead your Terminators. Win-win. We love nice, easy choices like that. Of course, the helmets. Now, I think scattering the Mark IV and the Achaean throughout the army is a really good idea. The Mark IV adds a little bit more individuality, but the Achaea pattern helmets just look way sweeter. So, up to you what you prefer out of those. Now, the Kennetai. The Kennetai helmets make either Kennetai occult members, yes, and you've got enough arms and heads in here to turn one of your 10-man tactical squads into a Kennetai Blade Occult squad. Go for it. Nothing's stopping you. But I think its best utility for a starting army is upgrades. These helmets look excellent for squad sergeants. Obviously, the weapons, you can arm a whole host of squad sergeants with these weapons. You could even spread them through the squads potentially if you can acquire something like, say, bolt pistols to turn squads into despoilers, for instance. I probably wouldn't go that route, but you could do that. I would use them to essentially upgrade my force, and even taking a spare hand maybe, and as usual going back to this guy and cutting off that horrible right hand gigantic sword and replacing it with a Thousand Suns Khopesh. would be a good look. These helmets also look excellent on characters because they're got a taller crest than the helmets around them, for example, such as the Achaea or the Legion Mark IV ones. Therefore, they stick out a little more. They're a little bit more prominent than these other helmets. But, end of the day, it's up to you what you pick. But Thousand Suns are actually quite well looked after between all the things in this range. And, yeah, it's a pretty good choice. Obviously, the rules for them are in the Liber Astartes, the Liber Hereticus Legionis Astartes army book, the traitor one, and the decal sheet. It's a really, really good decal sheet. I bought 2 of them because I needed 2 of them, but this is one of those ones in general where you have enough iconography and symbols that you can comfortably do everything in that starting box. That is rare, so many of the decal sheets, such as Death Guard, Night Lords, they're the 2 biggest that come to mind. You need to buy multiple of those sheets. This time out, you don't need to buy multiples. I just did because I had a lot of Thousand Suns thanks to 30 years of collecting, and I had ended up building, I think, somewhere around the 13,000 points of Heresy Thousand Suns in about 3.5, 4 years. It might have been excessive. Anyway, that's all from me. I hope you got something out of this episode. Again, a short, sharp episode, but Thousand Suns, like most of the Legions, benefit really well from that expansion episode, that second episode on them, where we talk about a bit of their rules and making the Force bigger and what to include. They have a lot of really cool toys and units, which I think everyone is going to want because they look awesome. That's usually the first thing that comes to mind, the Horus Heresy. What looks cool ends up making it into a lot of lists, even if it's not the most effective. But Thousand Suns are both. They are cool and effective. So, anyway, that's all from me. Back with the Outer Circle, and I'll see you all on the next episode.